will come up, right? How do you resolve conflicts in your team? How do you resolve conflicts in your team? How would you answer that? All right, Abu, let's hear it. How do you resolve conflicts in your team? How do you resolve conflicts in your team? Well, before I go to Victor, let me go to Dorcas, because Victor, you already confessed you're a practicing Scrum Master, so it's not fair. Dorcas, how do you resolve conflicts in your team?
Yes, actually, I want to say thank you so much for that question. I always say this in my Scrum team currently, we utilize Packlog, the Packlog parking lot. I'm so sorry. We utilize the parking lot. So with the parking lot is where I actually kind of where I resolve things with my team. Example is like I mostly focus on prevention. So I focus on prevention, and majority of the time when I have any conflict with the team, I always set time aside with that teammate. So I set time aside. Let's just say if we're running behind, I have a parking lot. I have a parking lot with that teammate that is having a problem. I schedule that. I'm so sorry. I schedule with my member. Then I asked him that, okay, what is going on? What is the problem? How can we fix it? And what is the next step that we need to take? And I think that with those questions that I do ask my team, we're able to actually solve the problem right away, because we're able to find the problem, find the solution, and after finding the solution, we're also able to plan ahead of what the solution might bring or what the solution might not bring. So with those questions and with those parking lot sections, I'm also able to build that relationship with that teammate. So an example is just like let's just say my teammate was having a problem with maybe they were having problems with working on the software solution. So because they were having this problem, I set aside with my teammate, and it may be possible that maybe my other teammates are having this problem, but because I set that time with my teammate, I'm also able to see what other teammates may be having problem with. So because I had that opportunity with one teammate, I actually then I go further to my other teammates and I ask my other teammates, is everything okay? Are you okay? And I think that is one of the most effective solution when talking to when solving a problem. You just don't focus on one teammate. You actually have to focus on everybody. I'm so sorry. Like I feel like my brain is just crumbling to answer the question. So I apologize if I
It's a tough question,
I'm so
Dorcas,
sorry. Thank
but
you so
you did
much.
all right. You did all right. Excellent work. Let's try you again, Abu. Can you check your audio? Let's hear it. Like I said, how do you resolve conflicts in your team?
Yeah, so for conflicts in general, like the best way for me, the best way I go about solving conflict is trying to identify the root cause, because each conflict has its own cause, has its own root. So the idea is to find the root cause of that problem and then find out who are contributing to that root cause, right? Whether it be you sit with the individual, have a dialogue one-to-one and see what you need to, or how you need to go about what you can do to help that person help him get about solving the problem, or find all the people who are involved in that problem to come together and figure out what we need to do so that we can go further. like what kind of steps needs to be taken. So that's how I go about it.
All right, Abu, nice try. Amos, let's hear it. How do you resolve conflicts in your team?
Yeah, thank you very much. Conflict within the team is unavoidable. So one of the ways I resolve conflict within the team is this. First of all, as a Scrum Master, I will try all I can to make sure that I prevent conflict. But if there's any conflict that arises, what I will do, first of all, I have to find out the cause of that conflict and the people involved within the team. So I'll take my time to talk to each and every one-on-one, book a session with them one-on-one to try to understand what is the cause of the conflict. Then after that, I'll make sure that I come in and talk to them to make sure that we resolve it and help them to have confidence. When they have trust, confidence within themselves, I think it will reduce having a conflict among themselves in the team. So I will try to work on them and make sure that I cheer them up to also have an enabling environment to collaborate one-on-one. So that is, for me, how I resolve conflict. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Amos. Next up, Max. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do, Amos. Max? Max is not there. Go ahead.
Thank you very much for this question. My strategy as a Scrum Master in conflict resolution is one of the situations where I display my flexibility and dynamism in enhancing a team. And I'll tell you, I have two strategies as a Scrum Master: preventative measures of conflict avoidance and also resolution measures when the conflict emerges. Preventatively, I use my retrospective sprint. We understand that retrospective sprint is all about assessing the entire engineering framework, the process. But most of the times, I use that period as well just to blend interactions between individuals and try to talk within ourselves to understand what didn't go well in terms of interpersonal relations professionally. And that enhances a lot of cooperation when we are engaging in the next sprint, because most of the times we always value that interaction between us, and it really strengthens us. I can tell you, productivity is beyond imagination. Now, conflict resolution is something that I really are very dynamic. There's no clear-cut booklet on exactly how you resolve a particular conflict. But I want to say that our team is guided by our team norms. And when there are conflicts, we always revert to those norms. I'll give a case in point where I had a senior engineer who was not actually collaborating. Actually, he was ignoring a junior, a less experienced engineer. And that was it was a major issue in my team. I had to do this. I had to talk to the senior engineer, ask him what the issue was all about. And I had to talk to him about the Agile values, collaboration. You can't collaborate. If you can cross-functionally, there's no collaboration. And also in the Agile domain, in the Agile methodology, no opinion is useless. And also as you experience out, you have to train one way or the other through collaboration, the younger engineers. And that's the only way that we can deploy codes frequently. We can enhance product value, the business value of product, and then maximize productivity. So, but with the junior guy, I had to basically find out exactly what the problem was, because you don't want to be careful, maybe harmful. So, but I realized that it was out of less experience. And I told him we need to enhance and replicate the Agile values. We must work as a team. Nobody makes things happen. We all collaborate to make things happen. So it's a case by case thing. I've had lots of other issues in the past where I resolved them. This is just an example to show you how my conflict resolution tactics and techniques are very dynamic depending on the case at hand. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Max. Good luck. Victor, is that an old hand? Did you want to answer that question, or? I'm assuming it's an
Oh yeah. Thank you. I'm not answering any question. I just want to say thank you to Max.
Okay, yeah. So hold your comments.
Yeah.
So well, let's hear it. Ogun, Omotayo Ogun. I hope I said it right. Omotayo Ogun. Tell me, how do you resolve conflicts in your team? Right.
Yeah, you got it right.
I did, right? I know.
Yeah, you got it right. It's okay.
Bio, tell me.
Oh
I'm
my
messed
God.
it up now. How do you resolve conflicts in your team?
Okay, so for me as a Scrum Master, I mean, I've joined like new teams and I see a lot of conflicts, such as insecurity, annoyance, envy, personality conflicts, name it. But what I do in my teams as a Scrum Master is the fact that if there's a conflict, first of all, I try to understand, what kind of conflict it is. It could either be a bad one or a good one. Good ones usually lead to like good solutions. While the bad ones, what I just usually do, I just inspect why. I mean, those conflicts. I just go into the root cause of the conflict, and as a servant leader to the team, I mean, I inspect the reason behind the conflict, and after inspecting the reason behind the conflict, I try not to, first of all, take sides, say two developers bumping heads, say not understanding or not practicing agility in sense of respect as regards, oh, I was here before you, I have so X, Y, and Z number of years of experience, and so you're junior, I'm senior, and stuff like that. So I just try to, mediate and not take side. Most importantly, not because I cannot observe to know who is right and who is wrong, but the thing is, everyone is unique in their own ways, and taking side will not make you not look good, for lack of better words, will not make you look good, for lack of better words. So having inspected the cause of the conflict, I try to coach them as a group, and I have one-on-ones with them. I revisit the values of Scrum, the values of Agile, respecting one another, regardless of our experiences, regardless of our race, backgrounds, and stuff like that. And having done that, I observe after a while, to see if there's any change. And most of the times, we are all adults. I mean, even if they fake it, but I see change and I see so if it doesn't affect work that is being done or how they deliver, I mean, I'm good. I'm good as a Scrum Master. So long as our personal differences do not get in the way of work, I just, go ahead. And sometimes when coaching them individually and together does not work, I try to revisit our working agreement. And in our working agreement, we try to agree again on how to resolve conflict. So like we kind of say, oh, do we want to do it openly? Do we still, does one-on-one still work? Because the truth be told, conflicts can never be avoided, and they can never stop so long as we're working with humans, So that basically works for me. And sometimes I could also use my sprint retrospectives, you know, to let them review their relationship and try to find some interesting ice-breaking games, you know, that could, you know, encourage collaboration, you know, and that works as well. But for the good conflict, I'll be rounding off right now. For the good conflict, you know, they bring about, for instance, I had like 2 developers that wanted to work on a story, and one wanted to use an approach view, and the other one wanted to switch to another approach. And we just I had to like, because I mean, I'm not technical in any way, even though I know some of these terms, I know some of the approaches they work with, but I had to like invite the tech lead and someone else on the team, and they were able to weigh in on the pros and cons of both approaches. And I wouldn't take side, like I said earlier. I never took sides. And having weighed on the pros and cons of both approaches, the other person that was trying to switch to another approach realized that there was going to be a lot of production bugs down the line, you know. So to avoid fixing constantly fixing production bugs, you know, we just went ahead to stick with the first approach of the developer, and we try to, you know, make sure that the other developer is good and he understands that it matters. You need to let people know that it matters, even though that whatever they are trying to push to the team is not best for the team at the moment. So basically, those are some of the ways that I resolve conflict in my teams. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Olayemi. Good work. All right, we're going to take only one more, right? Just one more. And I'm going to go with Darren. All right. So Darren, tell me, how do you resolve conflicts in your team?
Thank you so much for the question. Well, first and